Ukraine's president addresses the U.S. Congress and the American people. We have all you need to know right now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky summoned the memory of Pearl Harbor and the September 11th terror attacks in an impassioned video plea to Congress to send more help for Ukraine's fight against Russia. Thanks for joining us tonight for 7 News at 6. I'm Catherine Guyon. President Joe Biden later announced the U.S. is sending more anti-aircraft, anti-armor weapons and drones. The president also declared Russian President Vladimir Putin is a war criminal, the strongest condemnation by the president since the Russian onslaught began nearly 3 weeks ago. It was an unprecedented and startling statement as President Biden referred to President Putin as a war criminal. The phrase showed that the weeks-long Ukrainian war is not anywhere close to a resolution in what's already been a major crack in the post-Cold War order. 7 News reporter Colin Roos spoke with a West Liberty professor on the future of Ukraine and the West, and he joins us live in the newsroom now. Colin.
Catherine, the president's remark reflects America's sharp turn against Russia as its actions become more brutal. The war in Ukraine has only gone on a few weeks, but it's quickly moved from a dispute over territory into a humanitarian disaster. But it isn't all bad news, as the world has rallied in a way that gave Ukraine's resistance the glimmer of hope to carry on. By the looks of it, the European peace of the last 30 years appears to be evaporating. Every day, the images flood out of Ukraine of tearful citizens forced to leave the land they love. But despite the devastating attacks, there's something that still evaded the Russian forces. They still don't have complete control of their much smaller neighbor.
So far, they made a lot less gains than they thought they would, and there's a pretty intense Ukrainian resistance.
But why? It's been nearly a month since Putin ordered his troops to invade, and his military muscle seemed like it could easily overpower the former Soviet satellite. What it appears he didn't expect was the worldwide backlash against his actions. The U.S. has started a pressure campaign on Putin, with the president signing off on an additional $800 million in security assistance.
Today, the American people are helping not just Ukraine, but Europe and the world to keep the planet alive.
But the help from America and NATO has its limits. Zelensky is still pushing for a no-fly zone to be declared over his country. It would mean telling Russia that Ukraine is a restricted airspace, and there would be consequences for violating it.
Now, Russia would frame that as a declaration of war, but of course it's not us attacking Russia, it's not anything like that.
So where does the war move from here? Dr. Fitzpatrick says if Russia's history is any indication, they may attempt to invade even more land. But with the lack of Ukrainian cooperation, the universal condemnation of Westerners, and even Russian citizens starting to turn away, it's hard to say that the war path was the right path for Putin.
So arguably, he's gotten the exact opposite of what he wanted so far.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also spoke on the ongoing financial sanctions, saying the yachts and aircraft Russia's leaders stole from their people have now been taken from them. Live in the 7 Newsroom, I'm Colin Roos, working for you.
Colin, thanks. New update.